Well, April is National Pest Management Month, and the perfect time to pest-proof your home so bugs and other uninvited guests leave you and your home alone. To prevent an infestation during the spring and summer months, Home Improvement Expert Bob Vila is here on behalf of the National Pest Management Association with some easy tips and advice on pest-proofing your home this season. Thank you so much for joining me today, Bob.
Thank you, Makiba. This is a good time for homeowners to take a close look at their houses, because this is when you kind of want to make sure that you don't have any pest infestations occurring. And one of the key things is to take a close look at the outside of the house in terms of the siding and the foundation. Are there any cracks or gaps or holes, any place that a bug can crawl into? And if that's the case, you're leaving the door wide open for problem insects like termites and carpenter ants. So the best thing that a homeowner can do is to go down to the hardware store and pick up some caulking compound and ask what kind is best for your particular type of siding. If you have old wooden siding, it's one thing. If you have vinyl or some other product, ask the person there, and then just seal up all of these holes. That'll go a long way towards keeping all the pests out. There are some situations where you might already have pests at work, or you might have situations where certain pests are coming back to life after hibernating and are just starting to reproduce. And the biggest problem this year is going to be the mosquito-borne Zika virus. And so homeowners should take special pains to make sure that there's no standing water in the yard. Something as simple as an old pair of tires that have been leaning up against the back of a garage or a shed might be filled with an inch or two of water, rainwater, and this is a perfect habitat for mosquitoes to breed in. So part of spring cleanup should be to make sure that there's no standing water in any kind of vessel, whether it's a flower pot dish or an old toy or a kiddie pool, a bird bath, old tires, all these different things.
All of those are some really great tips and information. Now, you mentioned checking around, and now is the perfect time to do it. Why is spring and summer such an important time for preventing pests in the home?
Well, for example, it's not just in the house, but in the garden, in the fields. If you think about tick-borne diseases, generally speaking, the deer tick carries Lyme disease, which is a very big problem out in New England, and you've got Rocky Mountain spotted fever in other parts of the West and stuff. And the the tick population is coming back out of hibernation now in the spring and April and May and stuff. People don't really find themselves with the symptoms of one of these diseases until later on in June or July, but this is a time where they might get bitten. So people need to be aware of this. If you're going picnicking in an area where there might be deer, then you're probably in an area where there are deer ticks, and you want to take precautions and wear trousers instead of shorts, and you might want to, also just make sure that when you come home there aren't any bugs on you, etc. It's just common sense, but it's an awareness that people need to have.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we talked about safeguarding yourself outside the house. Let's go back to inside the house. What are some signs? You talked about checking around the home. Now is a great time to do that. What are some signs that you may already have a pest problem in your home?
Well, if you have moist areas in your basement or in your attic, you're providing a habitat for lots of insects. But even on a smaller level, if you have a slow leak in the kitchen sink and you don't look back there, and if you take all the stuff that's under there out and you find that it's moist in there, you're creating a comfortable habitat for more common insects like roaches and ants. So take care of any kind of moisture-producing situation, whether it's a leak from plumbing or a leak from rainwater penetrating the house. And then there are other things to be on the lookout for. Sometimes if you have active termites in it, you might not be aware that they're in the walls eating up all that wood. But if you see some little piles of what looks like sawdust, this is what's called frass, and it's actually the feces of the termite. They kick it out of their little tunnels when it gets in the way, and this is an indication that you have live termites eating up the woodwork. If that's the case, don't just throw it out. Call in a professional, call in an exterminator, somebody who's certified in your community to come in and give you a consult, because sometimes it's just nip it in the bud kind of small problem that's just getting started, or sometimes it could be very expansive and expensive and require the replacement of whole sections of wall. But it's not a do-it-yourself solution. It's something that requires advice from professionals.
Yes, absolutely, and thank you for mentioning that. Now, are there any other pests that can invade a home other than termites that can do a lot of damage that if we don't watch out for, they may cause some problems?
Well, as I said, termites and carpenter ants are the big problems for any kind of woodwork in the house. Mosquitoes are the big health challenge this year, so make sure there's no standing water anywhere around the house. And if you want more information about all of this, you can come to their website, which is pestworld.org, and get totally educated on all these different things.
Great. Thank you so much for that information.
Thanks,
and,
Makiba. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to reiterate the website for more information and tips to safeguard your home from pest this spring, as well as to safeguard yourself outdoors. Visit www.pestworld.org. Thank you so much, Bob. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Makiba.
You have a wonderful day.